hold that thought. Okay. Hola familia. Buenos días para mí. Buenas tardes para ustedes. Today I am going to do a get ready with me and story time video. Girl, is juicy. I got a story time for you. So I don't know what time it is where you're at. It's 10 o'clock on a Friday where I'm at. But if it's nighttime where you're at, grab your wine, grab your snacks, grab some goodies. If it's daytime where you're at, it's probably 5 o'clock somewhere. No, I'm just kidding. Hydration is key. Hashtag Team Stanley. Where you at? Team Stanley Cup. Yes, on Wednesdays we wear pink, and no, you can't sit with us. Cheers. Girl, I'm gonna start this video out by saying, be kind to others, be respectful to others, and be considerate of other people. Because God don't like ugly, and karma's a bitch. Okay? We gonna start this video out with, you guys know from previous videos, me and my fiance Manuel have been together for about 2 years. It'll be 2 years in October of this year, 2023. We met around October of 2021. And when we met, you know, it was, hey, you know, what's your name? What's your sign? What's your birthday? And he was like, my birthday is in December, which is 2 months away. And he was like, he's gonna take a trip to Puerto Rico, and, you know, was like, you're more than welcome to come with me. I like your vibe. Like, if we go as friends, if we go as, you know, being together, whatever you want. Like, when I first met my man, he was very like, I like you. I like your vibe. From the first day we met, you guys, we clicked. And literally up until his birthday, from October, 3 months, we were every day, all day together, and we could not get enough of each other. We just vibed out. We chilled out. Our communication, like the way we talk with each other, the way we acted with each other, it was like we've known each other forever. We were literally, since the first day we met, inseparable. Like, the next day he was like, what are you doing? Where you at? Can I come through? And the next day, what are you doing? Where you at? Can I come through? And then it was just like, hey, I'm coming over. Like, I'm in the area. And it was literally every single day, almost all day. If we weren't working, it was after work, all night together. So yeah, so we met in October. December was his birthday. December comes around, and we're like, or he was like, you know, hey, my birthday's here. I'm going to Puerto Rico. You gonna come with me? Or what's up? What are we doing? And I was like, yeah, I'll go with you. Shoot, vacation. Okay, I'm down. Shoot, I have a kid. Let me get a sitter. So I asked my dad. My dad does, he's a handyman. He does construction. He builds bathrooms. He builds, he reconstructs and remodels homes. He does a little side work. So when he's not working through his through the company he works for during the week, he does side jobs of his own on the weekends. My dad literally works 7 days a week. Like, he's just a hard worker, money maker, go-getter. Like, no days off. So my dad couldn't watch my son because it was just me and my dad in West Palm. So let's call grandma. So I asked my mom. My mom at the time, me and my man met and were living in West Palm Beach County. And then my mom lived in Newport Richey. She just moved over there. She rented a home over there. And Newport Richey from West Palm Beach is about 4 hours. It's like 3 hours and 45 minutes away. So I call my mom and I'm like, hey mom, I was like, I'm going on a trip to Puerto Rico. You know, I haven't seen you in a while. I want to see you. I want to see the new house. You know, we've been talking about me going over there and seeing everything. I mean, what better time to do that? And if you could, do you want to watch you know, your grandson for the weekend while I go on my trip. And she was like, of course, come see my house. I want to see you. I want to meet your man, you know, all that. Oh, yeah. Come. Yes, I want to meet him. Like all that good stuff. So I drive with him 3 hours, 45 minutes to Newport Richey, and I see my mom's house, and I'm like, dang, this is nice. This is nice. And she was like, yeah, she was like, my landlord is really nice. She's really sweet. She has 2 properties in this area. If you like this house, wait till you see the other one. And when I tell you guys, everything with me and Manuel was like fate. Like the timing of every single thing that has happened to us is like a fairy tale, like something out of a fairy tale. Like our timing for everything that has happened to us has been perfect. So around that time that I take my son to see my mom and to leave him with her for the weekend so I can go on my trip to Puerto Rico, me and him were already 3 months every day, all day together, couldn't get enough of each other. We've already established what we want out of a relationship. Like we were just on the same page about everything. So the end of the year, December, my lease was about to be up where I was staying, and I was staying in an efficiency, and an efficiency is too small for 2 people and a child. It's not, if you guys, I want to say it's not, if, I don't even know how to put this. It's not small if, in my situation, my efficiency would not have been small if Manuel was my son's biological father. And me saying that is because as parents to a child, you have more leeway and flexibility of how you maneuver inside of a home. When you're a step parent with a stepchild, it's hard to sleep with your significant other and a child sleeping at the end of the bed. In their own bed, but I had my son's little toddler bed pushed up against the footboard of my bed. And I'll insert some clips of everything just so you guys get a visual of my story time. I'm going to insert pictures as well so you guys can see. But yes, so it would not have been small if he was my son's biological father, but he is not. So with that being said, if we wanted to live together and have leeway of how we are inside of a home and living together, we would need a 2-bedroom. My son would need his own room and I would need my own room. Because it was just me and my son, we could be in one room together, if that makes sense. So at that time, I was already like, hey, like, yeah, because when we met, he was like, oh, this is nice for you and your son is perfect. And I'm like, yeah, but I do want something bigger. He's getting at that age where he needs his own room. And then by December, me and him were getting serious. And he was like, I want to be with you. I want to live with you. I want us to be together all day, every day, living together like as a couple. And if that's going to happen, your son needs his own room and we need our own room. So when I see my mom and I see her house, she's like, you know, if you like this, my landlord has another property in this area. I can go show you guys. So we were like, yeah, like we'll take a look at it. Like if this house is nice, why not? It doesn't hurt to look and see what other property the landlord that my mom is renting from has. So we go and look at the other home, and girl, I fell in love. I fell in love with just the outside. Like I was like, this is like, for me, a Little House on the Prairie. Like picket fence, red door, like my like dream home. Not dream home because I dream big, but for me to have for myself, renting a home, a house for the first time, yes, I wanted it. I loved it. I fell in love. The space, the kitchen inside was just beautiful. And I have a video of this house in a previous video before, so check out my other videos and you guys will see what house I'm talking about. But I loved it. I was in love, and my mom literally was like a realtor selling us the house. Look at me rambling and not getting to this hair. Okay. So, check out my other videos before and you'll see the house that I'm talking about. So we look around the house. I love it. We look around the house. I love it. I fell in love with the kitchen, the space, everything. And, my mom, I was like, this house, it was empty. She was like, yeah, she's looking for someone to occupy this house, and asked me if I knew anybody. And I was like, how much does she want for this house? Because I ain't got money like that. Okay, I'm bitch broke. I'm trying to save my pennies because I'm trying to find a place, and it's already expensive as hell in West Palm. So I was like, for a house, how much she want? What's she talking about? And my mom was like, no, it's a 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom, big kitchen, jacuzzi in the backyard, washer and dryer, well taken care of. And you're literally on the line of where if you make a left, you're in the neighborhood, and then you're kind of towards, I want to say like countryside, heading towards the expressway to go to Tampa. And then if you bust a right at the stop sign, after that light, you're in the city. Like a whole US 19 is like a freaking long ass road that goes on forever and ever and ever. And there's stores, there's malls, there's restaurants. So she's like, if you want to be, you know, in town, bust a right. She was like, if you want to go to Tampa or hit the expressway or head towards Orlando, bust a left. She was like, you're literally in the perfect, like, right there. I'm like, how much is she talking about? She was like, she only wants $1,100 a month. Come again? Come again? Yep. She wanted $1,100 a month for that house. And my mom was like, she only wants first month and security, which is equal to the first month. So $2,200 to move in. No background check, no credit check. I'll tell her you're my daughter, so you're in there like swimwear. She was like, all you have to do is have the money and say yes. And me and Manuel looked at each other like, guys, when I tell you I'm so in love with this man, he was like, if you want it, let's do it. Everything with him is what I want. Get you a man. Get you a man that says yes. Because when you get you a man that says yes, and then turn around and get you a man that says, we'll see, or maybe, excuse me, no. Get you a man that says yes. Whatever you want, yes, if that's what you like, go ahead. Of course, get you one of those. Because, girl, when I tell you them words came out of his mouth like if he was singing, like if he was Bruno Mars or John Legend or something. I was like, oh, you'll move over here with me? Little old me, you'll move over here, all the way over here with me. If you want it, it's yours. Girl, when I tell you, we went on our trip to Puerto Rico, and when we came back, we started packing. I told my landlord, end the lease. End it. End it. I ain't even gonna fight you. End it. And no, I don't want to renew it. So, literally, the first day, January 2022, January 1st, we had everything packed. I lived in an efficiency, so I had nothing, you guys. I sold my bed and I sold my chest where I had my TV on top of. I literally only had a bed and a chest. My son had his toddler bed. I gave the toddler bed to a friend of mine who had a son that was ready for a toddler bed. I sold my bed. I sold my chest. we used that money towards the money for the new house that we were about to rent. And on January 1st, girl, we hit that road. 3 hours and 45 minutes. We were boop, at our new house. And this house was beautiful, you guys. Now, long story short, again, talking and not doing my hair. So I can't multitask. You guys will learn this about me probably in like future videos to come. I can't multitask at all. But yeah, so we rent from the lady, and you know, it was a little bit weird. Something like she was a little bit too vieja mediche. Like she was too like, you know, lady, you know, we rent this home. There should be some guidelines. There should be some restrictions. Like if I rent this home, I should be able to do this. You should not be able to like do this. But I'm a very nice person, and I understand that this is your home, and you know what I mean? So I will take into consideration, be considerate of other people. I will take into consideration, you know, your rules, your regulations, and, you know, some things that, you know, you feel like you should be able to do with your home. Now, mind you, this house has a garage, and she turned the garage into an efficiency. She turned it into a 1-bedroom studio. She only comes to Florida like once or twice, 3 times being the most throughout the year. Okay. So when she does come to Florida, she has a place to stay at one of her properties in the garage, which is a studio apartment of our house. So when she did come to town, she was very like vieja metiche, like very in our business, and, you know, house to house, and, you know, walk through the house, which is fine because my houses are clean, pristine, very, you know, organized. I'm very OCD, and I'm very like, you know, color coordinated and all of that stuff. Like I don't play no games. So when she would come into town, it was very like, you know, nitpicking stuff and like whatever, you know, and she just would like, I knew how to handle a type of landlord like that. I wouldn't have wanted to, but I know how to, you know what I mean? My mother, on the other hand, does not know how to deal with people who are overly possessive or overly strict about things. Like, you know, my mom doesn't really follow rules and guidelines. Okay, like I'm renting this house, I should be able to do whatever I want to, and if you don't like what I have done to this house, take it out of my security deposit, is how my mom is, you know. I'm more so of like, no, this is your property, whatever you want, like, you know, I respect, and, you know, whatever. So my mom, you know, is completely different in that aspect. So she had a fallout with the landlord. The landlord, around October, when we went to, you know, take my son to my mom so she could watch him while I went to Puerto Rico with my man, I guess was already telling her, or no. So the following year, 2022, around October, the landlord started telling my mom, you know, hey, we're having too many fallouts. I think it's best if you start looking for another place. And I was like, dang, like that sucks, because this is a really good house for a really good price. And these houses in this area are not the same prices that we pay. My mom was paying $1,200 for a 3-bedroom, 1-bathroom house. And I was paying $1,100 for a 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom house with a huge yard, jacuzzi, washer and dryer. Like, we really got a steal for these houses. So I was like, dang, that sucks. But like, you know, we'll find you something, like, you know, let's look around, Zillow, whatever, Craigslist, and find you another place, because she doesn't want my mom to stay there anymore. When I tell you, I have been nothing but respectful and considerate to this woman. I have been respectful, considerate of everything this woman has ever asked of me. I have paid my rent on time, and if it wasn't on time, it was ahead of time. For this woman to tell me November of 2022, November 31st at 9:30 at night, that she's giving me 30 days to figure out my situation because she will not be renewing the lease, just because she had a fallout with my mother, she put us out of the house we were renting as well, because I'm my mother's daughter. The fact that you can do, and mind you, I just had a miscarriage October of 2022. At that time, I didn't know, but I got pregnant again, because December 11th, I found out I was pregnant. On my man's birthday, I found out that I was pregnant again. So I just had a miscarriage. She didn't know that. So for her, I was still pregnant. I did not tell her I lost my baby or anything, because who are you? You know what I mean? Like, but she did know, because she came into town around the time that I found out I was pregnant. And I told her, you know, like, yeah, I'm so happy with the home still, you know, and it's, you know, a good amount of space because, because we're expecting. And she was so happy for us and blah, blah, blah. So she knew that I was pregnant. She didn't know that I lost the baby. So in her mind, I'm still pregnant, telling me only giving me 30 days to find a place to live. Like, very inconsiderate, very inconsiderate. So whatever, long story short, 2022, we end up leaving the house, finding another home, and whatever, everything is fine. So my niece the other day calls me and tells me and says, Tia, guess what? We're going to name my landlord Mary. So Mary's son, who is the owner, we didn't know this at the time. Her son is the owner of the houses, and she is the co-owner underneath him for the houses. Our understanding was that he bought the houses and that she was the owner of the houses. So my niece calls me and she's like, I got some tea for you, girl. And I was like, what's the tea? And she was like, Mary's son is here from Mexico and he wants to see the house. So I'm probably just confused all of you guys. So when the landlord kicked my mom out of the house, my niece applied for the house. I ended up putting a good word for my niece before she kicked us out of our house. I ended up putting a good word for my niece for that house. And, So I ended up putting in a good word for my niece for the house or whatever. Like, hey, if you ever have another property or something, you know what I mean? Like, I have a niece looking for a home and, you know, whatever. So she kicked me and my mom out of our houses and made this guy, we'll name him John, the property manager of both homes. So when my mom was about to leave her home, John was introducing himself as the new property manager of the houses, and letting my mom know, like, whether she stays or not, like, he's the property manager or whatever, and that she doesn't really have much to do with the homes, that Mary doesn't have much to do with the homes because he has power of attorney for the houses. but he didn't want to rent to my mom either. He was thinking about bringing somebody else in. So my niece happened to be there and was like, hey, you know, she talked to John and was like, you know, I really want to save this house for my grandmother. You know, is there anything we can work out? So my niece ended up paying a lot of money to this man just to save the house. Like, just so my niece would be the renter, the tenant, but my mother would still be living there with my niece. And so that worked out for a bit. And then my niece called me. My niece called me and was like, I got some tea for you, girl. And I was like, you know, what's the tea? And she was like, Mary's son is in town from Mexico and wants to see the properties. So long story short, he ended up seeing the properties, and when he saw the properties, ended up telling my niece, sorry guys, my baby woke up. Mother duties, mom life. Ended up telling my niece that he doesn't know who this John guy is, hasn't met this John guy, that has no power of attorney over the houses, and that he had a falling out with his mother from the lies. She was saying that, you know, this and that with the properties, and she didn't know that she tried to give power of attorney, which is invalid because he's the owner of the houses and he's never signed off on any power of attorney for the homes for anyone. And so she doesn't have any access to any of the properties anymore and all of this jazz. And she was like, girl, like, they just pretty much not scammed, but, you know, she pretty much acted like she was the boss and she was the owner, and she's not. And the guy that she gave power of attorney to was finessed because it's not a legal document, because she's not the owner of the house. And he played me because, you know, he's the property manager. He's supposed to be in charge of like cutting the grass and maintaining the house and things like that. And he was not doing that. My niece was cutting the grass, and, you know, he did not authorize for the house to, they upped the rent on my niece when she took over, and it was not supposed to be that high. He would never rent that house for that amount. And he's so sorry that she was paying that amount. So because of that, he's going to deduct money off the rent. And so my niece is paying less now, but it was just a whole mess. And I was like, and she's not allowed at the properties. Mary's not allowed at the properties. The little efficiency on the side of the house where I was living that she thought was hers is no longer hers. She has no access to it. So she's pretty much not allowed to come. Well, she's allowed to come to Florida, but when she comes to Florida, she's not going to have a place to stay. So she's going to be stuck in Ohio with her daughter all year round unless she purchases her own home under her own name. Which brings me to the beginning of this video. God don't like ugly, and karma is a bitch. And honestly, for people who are like this, I hope that it's understood that when you do something to someone, it comes back tenfold. Okay? And if I had it my way, God would be married to karma, because we need a little bit more balance on people who are like this getting what they deserve. Like, you can't just treat people a certain kind of way and think that it's okay. Like, it's not. So, yeah, that's my story time, girl. My landlord got kicked out of her own house. Like, her son pretty much was like, We're not doing this. You not finna be lying to me. I'm all the way in Mexico. Don't know what's going on with my properties. You lying to me. I gotta come all the way to Florida from Mexico just to find out what's going on with my properties. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. But check out my other videos, guys. I love you. I'm gonna cut this video short because my daughter woke up. Again, mom life. Stay tuned for my next video. I have a whole bunch of things coming up that I would love for you guys to be a part of. Again, if you can, and it's not too much of a hassle, go DM me, message me, comment on anything, any questions you guys have, anything you want to chit chat about, any advice you guys want. I've had my fair share of life situations that I think I could give a pretty good outlook on different things. Shoot your question, and if I have an answer for you, girl, I'm gonna give it to you. I love you guys. Gracias por ver mi video. Let me know if you guys want me to do some videos in Spanish. If my, whoever's watching is more Spanish than English, I do not mind mixing the two. I love you guys. Stay tuned. Follow me on my other socials. I do a lot of funny content on there and a lot of, fashion and other things. So just check me out. Follow me. It's free. Free 99. Say bye. Bye. Bye, guys. Love you.